up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse. Don't let people tell you what to do unless they've earned that authority. This is State of the Game. I am Dano. Man, your humble host, getting humbler by the minute. You know what I'm saying? life humbles you, and boy does it humble me. But I'm lucky because I was never pretty, so I don't have to worry about this shit. I'm grounded by the ugly stick. I am joined here every week by my partner in crime who helped me get around New York. I wouldn't have known what the fuck was going on if I didn't have K Diggy with me. Thank you. I was hobbling on a bad leg.
Man, you made it through. You walked miles, man.
Yeah,
That was impressive.
Yeah, so it was great. But thank you for that. Today we have some interesting people, right? Because the orator of this project that we're covering here is someone who at this point I think has 4 projects that I would yell at a stranger about if they were talking shit about it. That everybody doesn't have that, right? Like that's a different level. You can talk about the best MCs of all time and shit. You know, if somebody on the street is talking about Jay-Z, I don't give a fuck. You know, you say whatever the fuck you want. But if someone says a bad thing about Pangea, Seven, Ox, Sortilège, it's not happening. I'm standing right there with it. So thank you, Gabe Nandez, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep, it's awesome, and I was so excited to be able to sit with this producer. I remember telling my wife, "I'm going to talk to the guy who made Priority." Priority is one of my favorite rap songs that ever was. I listen to that constantly. I hum it all the time. It's so thank you, Preservation, for existing and doing what you do. Yeah, legendary shit, man. You know. So yes, Sortilège has been released. We were at the listening party. It was crazy. It was super fun to run into people. Your listening party is the first time we ran into fans of our podcast in the wild.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. That's what's
People
up.
were just like, "Are you Dan O from Stadium?" I was like, "Oh shit, I guess
That's
dope.
That's great.
Southern Maine, I don't run into fans like that all the time. I don't. Are you running into fans?
No.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
Good time.
That was a good time.
It was real dope, real high energy. Yeah, no, I remember, later somebody was like, Rohan was there, Rohan from Rap Music Plug Podcast, and he was like, I met Vort Omega, and I'm like, Omega was there? I didn't even know.
That shit blew my mind, dude. I looked over, it was fucking Vort Omega. I was like, what the fuck?
Some people have like that.
Pulled up.
I looked over and I was like, that is someone. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Bruin pulled up.
Then Crime Apple, RLX, V-Don.
Oh man.
Don, Creature. Who else? That's good.
Yeah, no, it was awesome to be able to talk to Static Selecta and be able to thank him for that Luca project and just he's met so much.
He's cool as hell. He's just like
absolutely. So I was going to start talking about Sortilège, which I think is definitely one of the albums of the year for me.
Appreciate it.
What was the first project song that you can remember from each other that got you interested in each other's work?
I don't think it really went like that, did it?
I mean, the first time I heard Press was the Yen Lo album, and then so the whole thing. But then when I did research, I realized he produced on the Ecstatic, which I used to listen to in high school. So technically, those songs from that record, the Mos Def album. It was it was like all at once for me, you know.
Yeah, I got a question because it's kind of random. Did you ever listen to True Magic?
The Most Def album.
Yeah,
Uh,
because it's weird because you mentioned the static, but a lot of MCs come to me and be like, "Yo, Napoleon Dynamite." So like, hope like three or four cats like that specific song for MCs. They always come to me like, "Yo, I just found out that you did that. This is like one of my favorite joints." I was like, "Oh shit!" It's
That's
like
that
awesome.
it's kind of random. So it was just like because you had mentioned that I was just like,
Yeah.
Crime, Crime came up to me at the
yeah.
show.
Crime was one
Yeah,
cat that did it, and then like two other MCs where I was just like, "Oh shit!" And I mentioned I was like, "Yo, Crime just said that Napoleon Dynamite was like, I mean, Fake Bonanza was a big, not Napoleon Dynamite, Fake Bonanza was like a big joint for them, like lyrically.
You did a lot of True Magic. Holy shit. I didn't realize that.
yeah. I never actually. I don't think I've listened to that record.
Yeah, I definitely did. It's yeah, there was and I don't know, when we love MC so much, like their bad albums get a real heavy reputation for being bad. And I remember going back into Most Def shit and being like, these are pretty good, dude. Like all these are really good. So True Magic is a really good record. I think people should revisit that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
For me, I didn't know of him until Woods told me about him.
right.
Yeah, I just kind of missed the whole. I missed I missed it, and he was like, "Do you know Gabe Nandez?" And I was like, "Nah, man." So he really wanted him on. He was thinking of putting him on Ethiops, and I was like, "Hey, I'm down." And then I checked him. I was like, "Oh yeah, like yo, that's crazy." Like so, whatever you feel like and he came up with the idea to kind of to get him on the joint with Boldy. So that was the first time I really heard him.
So Sauvage really was your initial, you know, Gabe experience?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I went back,
Yeah.
like when he mentioned him, of course, but to kind of be like, yeah, yeah, for sure. That's not and Woods's opinion on MCs is kind of
For sure.
like, yeah, I like Joe Schmo. Like, nah, man, he's gonna come with the quality cats, so
Mm.
it's an automatic. But yeah, it was the first time around that when we were doing that.
Yeah, no, that's I found Gabe in the most music nerd way you could. Like so I was at the end of the year, I combed the end of year list and I couldn't care less who's at the top. I really couldn't care less. I skipped the top. I go right to the bottom and I look from the bottom to like the middle. I want to know who those people are, right? Um, and Passion of the Weiss is like incredible with the end of your list. They always find people that that I've never even heard of,
Mm.
um, and they had Diplomacy on there,
Word.
2019, and I just remember being like, "This cover is dope. Like this is interesting." And I've learned if it's a dope cover, you should probably check it out. Like that's a thoughtful person, you know. Um, I was into Diplomacy. It put your name on my radar. I was like, okay, all right, um, and it went from there. But yeah, how how has the escalation been for you over time? Did it start with Diplomacy? Did it start earlier? Where do you think the big ups were?
Diplomacy was definitely a marker. It was my first full length.
Yep.
I was fortunate enough that like the very first thing I dropped, which was a music video and a song that was just, SoundCloud days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It went up. Like I was doing cool shit on SoundCloud. I had like labels scouting me. I was playing shows. I was living in Canada at the time, but like, I was dropping videos. And really, like, honestly, from my perspective, from the very first thing, because some people put music out for years and nobody gives a fuck. So like, people gave a fuck from the first song I ever put out. So like, it's been a slow burn since then. Everything I've put out is like a little, moved me closer and closer. Then I got with Jeff in like 2016, signed. Yeah, like so there's that I'd say there's that first arc before POW. Then there's the POW arc, and now there's this new arc, I would say, like the backwards arc. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Yeah, and um, yeah, it's good to hear. The did you, Kay? How has your relationship with Sortilège grown?
Um,
Oh no, I was asking my co-host.
Hey.
oh,
Yeah,
So that I mean, because you and I, we had a conversation after the listening party, the
yeah,
morning after. We had like an hour conversation about this project. Um, and I'll be like, what I'll say is sort of that was the first time I've heard an album live before I've heard the album, I guess the release project version of it.
sure. Yep.
So I'll be honest, like I didn't get it, and I told Dan like I don't get it, like I don't understand what's the point of this project in a way.
Right.
But as I sat with it, so it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. I've sat with it, and I've kind of challenged my own thinking regarding it, and now like I thoroughly enjoy the album.
okay, dope.
Yeah,
He had a similar reaction to Haram, right? When Haram came back, he's like, "This is all good, but how does it all connect? What does it
Hmm.
all mean?" Right?
yeah.
And then he saw Armand Hammer live. We went together, and he was like, "Oh, I get it now."
This
Like,
was vice versa. I mean, because I think in Dan and I we talked about this. Like, like what I said is that you know I'm I grew up in the '90s, so we had my traditional like when I hear the word song, I have a like traditional idea of what a song is.
right, right, right.
And a lot to me, like a lot of underground hip hop nowadays is not what I would traditionally consider to be a song. And what I mean by that in terms of structurally, like,
Right.
you had the chorus, verse, chorus, bridge,
First
chorus. So a lot of underground hip hop is
three.
just it's yeah,
Three.
it's
Oh,
just huh?
Three. Oh my God.
That shit
There
is
were,
done now.
there was a lot of verses back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
And
verses. 5 minutes.
you could have four or
Yeah.
5 minute songs and everyone is and the chorus is like 2 minutes of that.
Pete Rock Bridge.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
A
so
lot
a
of
lot of a
popular.
lot of just underground hip it's not that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I've really been grappling it for the past 2 weeks, like really kind of trying to understand and digest like my approach and what do I think about underground projects like this. Yeah.
Well, but and I think, and I'm glad that you're talking about this. I think it's important for people to know that things are moving, right? We talked about this with wave generators last week, right?
Mhm.
One of the things we talked about with them was you should start with what you want to achieve, right? The feeling you want to achieve,
Mhm.
and you use the form how you want to use the form. You shouldn't start from the form and the necessity of the form.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, I feel like, yeah, everybody has their process. There's for me at least, for me, there's no rules, It's just like
Yeah.
this, I just do it. I feel more than I think. It's very primal. It's very instinctive. It's very much a feeling thing. It's less the less I think, the better. The thinking goes into the writing, but as far as like what things are supposed to mean, like, as far as lyrically, each song there's various meanings to each song, there's
Mhm.
coded things, there's different topics being touched upon in each song. Some of them are more focused, but yeah, I guess it just varies, from artist to artist. At the end of the day, there's no clear cut rule book, I would say.
There
I think.
wasn't too. There
Oh, go
wasn't
ahead.
too much thinking.
What's up?
What were we
Said
saying?
there wasn't too much thinking. It was just like, this feels good.
Mm.
Go with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I
And
live my life.
and
I'll
it's funny that you mentioned the '90s because I was actually going back to that a
In
lot
what way?
on this. Like I was kind of like, what's that feeling of the '90s of like, like instead of kind of like sitting and listening, kind of like more in your face what the 90s were.
Mm.
Especially, I mean, when you're talking about like three verses, and it's funny that you had that Gangstar hat on because it's bringing me back to like some shit that my man Jared from he used to work at Big City Records and uh and um Sound Library, two like really important record stores for hip hop. So many producers made joints out of there, like with records from there, you know. He said at some point, he was like, I feel like hip hop had a switch with one track. Like he's like, I can name one track, and it's two pull on Daily Operation,
Mm.
two pulls and pass, where everything slowed down. Because he was like, I don't know if it's because like the weed was more incorporated in the music
Right, right.
prior to that, before that. Because before that, it's like the 80s, especially 90, 89, 90, 91, the tempos were like through the roof, like 100, 105, you know, Kane and G Rap and all that. So, I mean, Daily Operation came out in like 92, and then it was fun. It was that's a funny kind of thought of his. But he was like, I think that might be like the one that just kind of like everything, that album and specifically
Mm.
that song is just like the West Coast kind of influence coming to NY, and then everything's just like the tempo slow down. And yeah, I mean also like attention spans, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I want a 5 6 minute song. Like let's get to the net, shit, it's a long way from like 15-minute joints in the early 80s, so it's just
Yeah,
like
I remember
no rules, man.
revisiting.
That's a beautiful part of this music. There is no rules, so it's
Yeah.
like
Right, right. I mean, I remember going back to like Cypress Hill Temples of Boom, like three, episode three, and being like, how the fuck did this go platinum? Like, it's so slow, it's so spooky, it's so moody. Like, I first heard it in my buddy's garage when they were just was like smoke everywhere and lines and all whatever. And and like that made sense. The album made sense, right? But on the radio, like what? Like it was boggling my mind. Like but yeah, it's taken lots of shapes and forms.
so a
Uh
lot of that influenced what we were listening to when Gabe came down, and yeah, just almost kind of like maybe bringing it back to that feel a little. We weren't thinking about it, but it felt like right, like him telling me what his influences are. I was like, all right, let me give him some stuff that he can just like spit on, like just, and then
Mm.
some chunky shit, like instead of kind of more laid back, like there's some of that in there, but I feel like the album is pretty aggressive
Yeah.
comparatively to a lot of shit that's coming out. You know what I mean?
I think
And
that's
it's the
accurate.
time for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's accurate, man. I think that's and that was my first reaction to it was like, don't let these motherfuckers forget how fun this is. Like, this is a fun ass album. Um, and you can put it on and just enjoy on some hip hop shit, right? Um, and that was my first reaction. Like, hey, I've listened to it a bunch, and I have just a much greater respect because if the next level of this is these incredible supersonic darts that you throw out, right? Um, and these are like the way I would think about them, Kay, is like they're a whole song. Like that one line, most people would have just made that a whole song. Like they would have been like, the whole song's about this.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and like to, I think what was okay. Uh, Mui Sock is the one that got me with that, right? Um, What I mean to say is war is more of a state of mind than an act of violence, and through piousness remain divine. I'm a fucking philosophy major. I fucking cashed out the rest of the day. I was like, oh shit.
Hey,
It's I can think about that line all fucking day, and you have so many of those.
Absolutely.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I really, I make sure I'm coming through with the fucking lyrics, like it's like the school I come from, the people I've studied, the highest level of lyricism and trying to push the art forward. I feel like every new wave is like we have all this to go back to. So like how much further can we take it? Like how state of the art can this shit get? That's really what I'm into is pushing the lyricism and the flows as far as possible. I'm very competitive, especially with myself, like I listen to my old shit and I'm like, all right, cool. Like let's look further, further, further. So yeah.
And and I wanted to bring up something because re-listen to a bunch of your work, I got to go back to Pangea. Boy, do I love Pangea. So Pangea was where I like I said, diplomacy comes out. I'm like, that's a name I'm gonna remember, right? Um, Pangea comes out. I'm like, that's my fucking guy. Like I'm now everywhere with this shit. So, um, re-listen to all this stuff. That one of the themes of your work that I was really interested in because I kind of experienced it talking about you with people because I talk to anybody about hip hop who I see. You referenced that you have been thought of as weird at times and like odd at times. And I remember talking to people and selling them on you and them being like, I don't get it. I don't get Gabe Nant. You know what I mean? And was that a real thing? Is that you felt like I've got a different mathematics in me than other people, and I've got to help them figure it out? Or how was your relationship to that?
Yeah, I mean, just as a person in life and like social circles at school and stuff, I never fit in. So like I just never really fit in. I was always like, yeah, I was just in and around, in school things are very tribal and stuff. And
Yep.
I moved around a lot as a kid, so I never really like had roots for more than like 3 years anywhere. But like as far as musically, when I'm talking about that stuff, I think I'm more not I think I'm more referencing my existence like in society more so than like artistically because like as far as I'm concerned, as far as the music, I know it's not for everyone and because nothing is. So it's like I never go out there with the intention that everybody's gonna like it, everybody's gonna get it, but I know it's gonna find the people that it's gonna find and it'll have its home there. So it's more so just like my experiences with like tribalism and society and with human beings and stuff. I've always just kind of been not in a bad way. Like I'm fine with it. It's just the way it's been.
Yeah. No, some people just don't naturally do that, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah. Yeah. Some people are like, I can't wait to go to a fraternity in college. And some people are like, what?
type shit. That's a great analogy. It's just like, yeah, I just dress different, fucking talk different, listen to different music, all the shit, and it's, like, yeah, like it's just I was in the shit before, being in the shit where people made fun of it, and then 5 years later, everybody's into it. That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right.
that's always kind of just been my shit. And yeah, everybody has a deck of cards in life with different themes they're handed, and those are just some of the themes that are in my deck of cards, and I just play the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. The question for both of you, I think this is a fun one. Give me one time on this album where your partner blew you away with what they did.
I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, when he sent me a video of, he's like, yo, I just got this new instrument. And I was like, wow. And he's just like playing this incredible stringed instrument. you can give the name. I can't off the head. I can't.
It's called Abalama. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's beautiful, man. Like, we should start the maybe start the record with it.
Awesome.
So yeah, that intro is him. I just put I put a crowd because of his roots from Mali. I found like a street market video and I just put the audio underneath it.
Mm.
So yeah, playing that guitar, like, playing that instrument, that's one, I mean, there's bars crazy, but I think that was a moment where I was like, oh shit. Yeah, like just super talented in many ways.
Yeah, man. I mean, I never skip that intro. I just think
Oh, dope.
it just, especially first listen, you're like preservation, trust the mood, right? And like, do not fuck with this order. And and we're re-listening, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Yeah.
Mm.
It's almost
Were
like
you just playing that instrument to show him that you could play it, or did you want it to be on the album?
I just showed it to him on some shit. I was just,
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got it, right?
yeah,
You just gotten it.
just got it like a week ago. I was playing it
He was already playing it like
like a fuck yeah. It's
like
similar to guitar because it's similar to guitar, and I've been playing guitar since I was like a baby. So like I got hip to it real quick. But yeah, I was just sending to him on some chill shit because I knew he would appreciate it. You know what I mean?
right.
and
And then
I
Preservation got the idea, like, hey, like,
well,
Yeah.
let's make.
I think at that point, a lot of it was pretty much, close, like it was getting close. And I just felt like I was like, oh, this is like bringing you in
Yeah.
to
Mm.
who
Yeah.
you are, to
Yeah.
who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to provide with any record. I'm trying to provide a the storyline to who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like the so I felt like that was like, okay, this is like it could have started with Spire, like bam, like bam, but I just felt like sometimes bringing you in a little like slower, like you're walking into a market or walking into a space or a story. Like I thought that was a good first page. Like, and
Mm.
and he was like, maybe we should, I think maybe it'll be too long, or people would maybe want to skip it to the next song. And I was like, I'm down to have it its own track. Like it's
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is you. It's not like I'm not really doing anything here. So
That's interesting. You mentioned the market. Do you think of, because to me, there were a lot of moments that were really cinematic on this project. Do you think of production? Do you think of it in terms of visuals? Like, okay,
oh,
like this is a song that we'd be playing in this type of scene, or
yeah, always.
mm,
Yeah, I'm like a visual person. I come from that line of two parents that were visual artists. I'm I like to do visual stuff as well, so it's always kind of like in there.
mm,
It's always in there. And then when you're making a whole album, I think that's I'm always trying to like tell us that person's story or some kind of story that they want to relay. So a story to me is also very visual, like,
mm.
man.
Yep. Yeah. No, the intro reminded me of like, to be visual about it, like Spielberg movies will have a 30-second like big orchestral thing where it just pulls back and you get to see the scenery, you get to see the visual of how crazy things are. Um, and that feels like maybe we start the movie like that. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm. And again, it's not like I'm trying to make a movie, yo. Like I'm just not
Yeah.
like none of shit, not nothing like that. I'm just trying to like, just uh create a feeling. It's all about feeling. Like so that's why I said it's not that much thinking. It's just like what feels good and what like, what can relate to what you're trying to say,
Mm.
Mm, yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you want to be walking around calling yourself Preservation Curacao or anything crazy. People, there's a lot of salesmen.
I only do my interviews in directors' chairs and shit.
Oh, that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
That would be hilarious. And she just says Prez on the back.
yeah, exactly.
That's fine. No, but it's great, and I think yeah, I've been surprised. Like I wasn't I wasn't counting on the Crime Apple collaboration. That was like
No one did. That's why I loved it.
I wasn't I was
Oh man.
and I've always respected Crime, man. Always respected the pen. I just was like, this is an interesting combination, but like it's preservation, so fuck, like let's go. And I think you taught me more about Crime Apple than I knew before. Like to your point about wanting to give you a sense of who people are. Like I think you've really started achieving that with these collaborations because there's songs on here that I don't think Gabe's ever done anything like in my listening experience. Um, yeah. So let's talk about that, Gabe. Did it? How did these beats dig into you? How did this process get into you?
Man, it was a lot of fun. A lot of it was very seamless, like something about the music, and I think also just the moment and what it represented. And I know the history, like just fueled me, and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So I just had so much to pull from. So a lot of the writing was just, I was banging shit out, man. I was just sending him joints back. Like, he would send me beats, I would send him like three fucking joints back. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Are you muted, Prez?
No,
Nope.
no.
Oh,
You
No.
no,
good?
no. What was I gonna say? And then, yeah, as a producer, because to me, like, a true producer is not just in the music, it's like in the relationship too. And it's like through
Right.
conversations we had, he was like, hey, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about that? And there's shit I wouldn't necessarily have, like Muay Sock, like I wouldn't have done a whole song about Muay Thai. I love Muay Thai, it's a huge part of my life.
Mm.
Like, and he was like, yeah, you should fucking write about it. And it was a great idea.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
Yeah.
I was going through, we were going through records, and then I had a little stack of Thai 45s that I've been meaning to go through, and we went through stuff, and it was just like, all right, well, let's make that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Gabe, what is your answer for the surprising each other thing?
I mean, man, like all the beats, first of all,
Yeah.
every single beat. But the thing, I guess one, we were in New Orleans and we were making this one day we were digging, and we were making shit and we liked it, but we didn't necessarily love all of it. And then Mondo Kane, the song with Arm& Hammer, like he pulled the sample and he
Oh,
he just made it in front of me and like, I don't know, like pretty, like it was a pretty like quick kind of, it was just watching it happen. Like I watched him make other beats, but that sample is so big and like
Yeah.
it's just happening in real time. And we were both like, oh, it wasn't just me. It was him too. He was like,
That's one of
yo,
the beats where I was like, this right here is special.
like, are you hearing? We're like, are you, both like, are you hearing this? Like, it was
Doing
just,
this word.
yeah,
yeah,
it was
dude.
one of those.
Yeah.
So I would say that, yeah.
Legitimately one of the best produced albums of this year. Um, on a special level, man. I just think there's people, not only does no one sound like them, but there seems to be like a respected space around them where people are just like, yeah, that's Kenny Siegel doing Kenny Siegel stuff.
Word.
That's
No one
that's
can
preservation.
those bass lines.
Right, right. So like it's that's a child actor beat. Like there's certain people who are they're doing their thing. And that's the lifeblood of this shit, you know?
Singularity, individuality. Yeah, Prez is one of the most singular producers, and I'm a very singular voice as well. So I think that's what makes it so special. And like I've heard some people say, like, this makes so much sense because they get it. They're just like, yeah, this is singularity on both levels, like coming together. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Gabe was in my cool voice Olympics of like I keep a list in my head of people I wish I had their voice, you know? like Fiend, No Limit Fiend. You know, like there's people I wish I had their voice.
Shit.
And um, and I remember just being like, Gabe's voice is so fucking cool. And they went to the Ka thing, and I got to talk to you, and I was like, he just has that fucking voice. That's just his fucking voice. He just gets to order pizza with that voice. Get the fuck out of here. What an incredible situation to just have that voice. Um, but yeah, I consider like there's a like the way I think people should look at how you work as an MC. In my pitch, you correct me if I'm wrong, right? Um, I think there's like a Jeet Kune Do element to how you operate, right? Like the foundational thing of Jeet Kune Do is be loose and free after you know everything, right? Study everything, know what you need to know, and be able to pivot into any situation,
Mm.
Like
right?
what?
Like water, like water. And so you like there's a Jeet Kune Do element to this of like you're being loose and free, but it's because you've done all your work.
Yeah. That's super accurate, man. That's like you
Mm.
literally because like even in training like martial arts, I find a lot of parallels between emceeing and like striking specifically. And one of the like good strikers are loose in the ring and their shoulders are relaxed and like you can let your hands go better when you're loose and like even in terms of breath control as performing as an MC and breath control as like striking, there are things that overlap and yeah, that's super accurate. I did all my homework and in my early stuff I always had my own voice, but like, I think for anyone at first sometimes you could kind of sound like your influences and then over time through just growing as a fucking human being and listening to less rap too and just finding my own voice as a person. A lot of it is unlearning sometimes when I'm in there writing. It's like let me just feel like I said like like you were saying it's a feeling but in order to be really in touch in order for me, because I don't want to speak for anyone else, my experiences with intuition, in order to be really in tune with it, it's reps with intuition. And then it gets
Mm.
to a point where you're kind of just free and you can let go. And that's why it comes off like that. I also rap over different production too. So I think that stands out as you could like Pangea versus this, totally different production.
Totally.
Makes room
Yep.
for different flows. Yeah.
But it is like there is, and you've done some albums that were quieter and more kind of relationships and stories and like,
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, whilst you are able to keep it free flowing, right? Um, and surreal at times, right? A definite, there's a balance between grounded imagery here and metaphysical imagery.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And that's the album's kind of about that. It feels like it's about that. But you're always incredibly sincere with what you have. Like I'm a writer, been a writer my whole life, and so I can isolate moments where I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know if I would have said that about myself."
Yeah, for sure. Bet. There's even me. Sometimes when I'm writing, I'm like, am I gonna fucking say this shit? And then I'm like, yeah. Just
Couple
because,
times
like,
on this album, right?
what's up?
Couple times on the album.
Oh, this album specifically, there's bars on here. What
Yeah.
the fuck is this nigga talking about? But it's like, a big part of my writing process is making sure I'm living life, like making sure I'm seeking out situations, shit people wouldn't do maybe, I'm following my heart at the end of the day, but it's like if my life is not exciting, my writing is fucking boring. Like I get myself into shit on purpose sometimes. I'm like, this is a horrible idea, but I'm gonna do it for a bar. Literally,
Yeah.
like just for
Right?
one bar in one song that'll go down in history. Just
Reminds
on
me, like
intention.
one of my favorite lines is off Lowe's Flower. You go, crucify myself to find a way to write a rap song, a
Yep.
song to rap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's part of
Yeah.
what it is too. Like I heard Amy Winehouse say in an interview once, she was like, writing is like an exorcism. And I was like, yo, I feel that. And it's like, I think if I don't want to say doing it right, because like I said, there's no rules, but for me, it's like, yeah, like this is Gabe Nandez. This is me. Like, if I'm not putting me in the music, then what puts me apart? Because motherfuckers can spit. This is hip hop. Motherfuckers know how to rap technically. Like I can name 100 motherfuckers that can rap.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what do you have to say? Like what do you? That's what can make it more interesting. Like and for
It's
me,
so hard to like, because people sometimes you're talking to somebody who is kind of, 1 foot into hip hop, right? 1 foot out, and they'll be like, so and so is a great rapper, and you're like the skill is there,
Right.
sure. Like that person can win Scrabble, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, you listen to enough rap and you know how to talk and you have a basic understanding of rhythm, you could spit. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like a little kid can make words rhyme, you just do reps and in New York, like everybody's nice at rapping. Like the janitor in my fucking high school was
Right.
nice. You know, the guy at the airport's nice. Like it's like everybody's nice. But it's like, yeah, I think what makes people stand apart, whether it's like Woods or Pac or whatever, it's like that individuality where you're like, I'm not gonna get this anywhere else, like the content,
Mhm.
like ODB, Ghostface, Raekwon, like these
Right.
fucking anecdotes they have is like nobody else says shit like this, and that's why I love this artist,
Yeah, I
Mm.
remember like so my favorite rapper of all time is Scarface, right? I'm old like that. And so he uh I remember like My Block comes out and it's the hit single. You know what I mean? And in the middle of this hit single that's gonna be one of the defining moments of his career, he's talking about as a kid on the block they used to call him creepy. Like that was his nickname. His nickname was Creepy, and I was like, dude, like you're a legend. Why do you like don't you shouldn't have But like as a writer, whenever you hit a point like that, which you did on Ball and Chain, by the way, but you hit that point where you're like, I could definitely cut this out and save myself issues potentially, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And the writer part of you or like outlasts the rest of you. It's the sickness.
Yeah, and like I think, yeah, all my favorite artists did that, and that's what my heart tells me to do. And I think, yeah, I'm also into challenging shit. That's in my nature. Like I just have a certain element of defiance in me, and just to kind of like make you feel, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I could
I
go
think
on
Ball and Chain is one of my favorite songs you've ever done. Uh,
board.
I was snorting cane out in Canada, had my coffin made.
It got bad. It got
I
fucking
mean,
bad.
I bet my arm on a needle, but changed my mind about it. Uh,
Dark.
there's definitely drug user music out there, right? Um, but usually it's kind of slow and sad and trudgy. Uh, and like this album is so propulsive. Um, and your flow is so alive and durable and electric. That song is about drug abuse, but in a way that like Train Spotting was.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I can't remember like the end. I know it's about heroin and they're all fucked
But
Yeah,
up.
like, but it just moves at that speed, like Train Spotting speed.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, thank you. I'm definitely very proud of that record because I think it's a special record on that topic. I'm proud of the video too, and yeah, like even the choice of the beat. I don't know what about that beat made me want to rap about that. I really don't, but yeah. I mean, I could see why it's one of your favorite records of mine. It's very concise and well written about one thing, and I just like
Mm.
I know when it comes to that, I can paint it real vivid because I
Mm.
was just in there for so long. I was stuck for so long, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah,
I mean, and the it's a gospel record.
Oh, beautiful.
So, the source is overcoming challenges and bringing yourself out the whatever elevating. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of elevating in this album. Like, and
Mm.
so it takes us all on this aggressive kind of like we were talking about, just like this is like I said, like it's a good time for it because there needs to be a little more aggressive kind of elevating kind of music in the world now. So, but yeah, that record specifically, I feel like it's talking about a topic, but it's also talking about like this is what happened and I got out of this, like
Yep,
and
yep.
gospel music behind it it's just like it brings it up to a more of a joyful kind of, instead of sad, like you said. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It becomes the pastor and sinners being drop the guitar, like come with us. And yes, that makes sense. Yeah, no, it's by the way, Ball and Chain not my favorite song on the album. I will tell you my favorite song, and which has changed a lot, by the way. Like
Mm.
That's
this
good.
this thing's real good. Um, I would
everybody has their own. Me and Gabe talking about that. Like, everybody that's hit me and hit him, like everybody has a different one. So that's good. That's like, it's not like, oh, yo, this is the one. It's all
Yep.
like, this is my shit. This is my shit. I like this one. I like that one. So it's like,
I heard a lot, which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I think because I was talking about that kind of dual conversation of mysticism in a way, foretelling the future, entropy mixed with the kind of material, like foundation of our lives. I think Morning Star is the best because of that.
Yeah. I hear
that's
you.
last
Mm.
joint. I think
Uh,
was might be.
right before Lotus Flower, the rewrite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morning Star it has like the old gods and it has all this kind of just really badass. It's braggadocio pulled through like a magical lens, and then you have like vandalism, a byproduct of progress. Let's catch a tag on the parliament in the office. Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Took me a
yeah.
place.
So to me, that's the peak of the feelings that you're hitting, that you're trying to hit, is that. Kay, did you have any standout favorites? Anything?
Yeah, production wise, I thought I'm gonna pronounce it bassinet. I loved the bassinet.
Crazy.
Uh just that beat switch. I don't even know if it's a beat switch, beat tweak or whatever. It's like subtle, but I mean I just thought that was like craftsman level production in my opinion. But in general, I think my favorite song was probably War.
Word.
Uh
Woo!
I I
Out the
think
woods.
oh yeah, for me, like War was when and I wrote down like for my notes I wrote for the album really picked up kicked into another gear starting with War for me.
Second side.
Yeah.
Yeah, second side.
And so yeah, I mean the difference
Yeah.
like the contrast between is it Hierophant
Yep.
and then kicking right into War was almost like a little adrenaline boost, like a dopamine hit. Yeah, so that War was the one that stood out to me.
Mm.
Yeah, man. I mean, preservation is so good. Like, I walk around just mouth imitating sounds from his
Mhm.
beats. People think I'm fucking crazy. Like I'll just be walking around like do, like fucking yeah. It's yeah. You'll put a noise in my head, just one kind of instrument just in my head, because yeah, it gets that specific. Um, but the thing about and I first listened, I knew this. Gabe is a clutch performer.
Mm.
War is a great example of that. If you give Gabe a shot, he will step into that. Like that's gonna work out. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. Every time.
It's not, you can't cross your arms and be like, well, what if Kendrick called dog? If Kendrick called him, Kendrick would be surprised. Like, by the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. We show us what we do. This is a fucking blood sport.
Right,
Like,
right.
like this is fucking MMA. Nah, but yeah, I mean, especially on these beats, man, like I was like, I'm working on a record with Prez. I know that people are gonna listen to it differently. I know that it's gonna get a different kind of attention. And I make sure that all my albums are good, but I think that definitely ignited something in me. And I got better as a writer. I mean, I think I get better as a writer, probably, time and, effort, you get better, but definitely I got better, you know what I'm saying? Just writing through the course of writing this music, I would say for
Mm.
sure. Like the
What
first thing,
characteristics do you think were heightened in this process?
I'm just throughout the course, when I was writing this record, I was also working on, we started working on it maybe 2023. I can't remember, but we worked on it
Late. Yeah,
when
like I think the first joints I sent you was like late 2023
2023, right? So I was working on like three projects at the same time. I was working on this, Object Permanence, and HT.
earlier. Mm.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't
Like
remember.
we met like right when Athiops dropped.
Was that 2023 it came out?
20 yeah.
22?
When did Athiops drop? I forgot.
I got get it up here. I was just listening to it today. I just showed my 12-year-old son Wharves to today with the video. He was like, I'm talking to these guys. He's like, oh, I remember this beat and play it in the car. Um, so yeah, let me see here. Ethiops. We
Spring.
got it. Oh, 22, 2022.
22.
Oh wow.
We might
So
have made a song in 22 because I went to Paris in 22 and the first song I ever sent you, I wrote it there,
that's
Dirge,
right.
that
That's
web
right.
album. So, like it was, I was just working on I was just writing so much. I think the main thing during that arc of my life, I got very good at channeling. I realized my writing process was not limited to me sitting at a desk with a pen, which wasn't as clear cut as before. Like I really understood on a deeper level that my writing will be better by going to the bar with this girl, you know what I'm saying, that I shouldn't go with because she's like, whatever, like going to doing new things. And like that was part of the writing process. And I got very good at funneling my life through my writing. And you hear it a lot on this album because there's a lot of personal anecdotes
Yeah.
a lot of random personal anecdotes from all over the place because I was living. And I think that's become such a like integral part of my writing now that I learned how to polish during this era of my writing. You know,
See, and that's what, and to go back to my initial impressions, and Dan and I were talking about this, like it felt random to me. When I first heard it, the album felt very
okay,
live. When I first heard it live, it felt very random. Like, but then I think as I listened to it more, that randomness became a strength to me. Like that became one of the pros of the album was just that like just all of the random stuff on the project.
Well, yeah,
you mean lyrically?
Yeah,
right.
lyrically and production wise too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
there was just a lot of surprise. I guess you could say surprises, like things that came
Exactly.
out of nowhere.
Right, right.
The
Yep.
more I think about it, that intro makes even more sense
Mm.
because the market
It's
is
like a
random.
bizarre. It's a bizarre, yeah.
Yep.
Market is random. You run into random different people who do different things, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Absolutely.
join with your skills or your the however you what you have and you create something. So I think that that meeting through Woods and Aethiopes and just kind of coming out of that feel of that album, and then us meeting and just kind of like sharing a lot of uh, life things, like just kind of it worked.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I feel you. I feel you.
yeah, it I can see how initially like some people would think, what does this all mean together? And Kay's not the first one to tell me like that he didn't get it for that reason, right? But I think this album really showcases that it's freedom of movement, right?
Mm.
It's the freedom to move where you need to move.
Yeah,
And,
like
and as a writer, like you've heard MCs like this where they're getting technically better all the time, but that's the only way they're getting better. They're not living more, they're not getting more perspective, they're not meeting new people, and you can hear it in their writing.
Yeah, it stays within the confines of a room, whereas there's a whole galaxy. And yeah, I mean, as far as like the randomness or stuff lyrically being all over the place. The more I think about it, I mean, like, throughout the course of my discography, I have songs that are about one thing, but generally speaking, that's just how I write. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of the school I come from, like, like Doom, for example, like a Doom album is like
Sure.
lyrically, it's like that. And there's just like, but even like a Wu-Tang album, to me, it's like, it's not that far off to me. Like, it's just, I guess it's just, my universe is a certain way. And if like someone's not used to my universe, it might seem like it's a little, it's all over the place, which I get by the way, and it's it's all love, obviously. But yeah, it's just like this thing I was thinking of one of the early titles for it was Proverbs, and not Proverbs like the Bible, but Proverbs like, like a collection of different
Right.
idioms and
Yep.
maxims kind of just
Mm.
put out. And that's how I felt when I was writing it. I was like, yo, I'm dropping fucking jewels
Yeah.
about all types of shit in one song. And they're just like, four bars will be one jewel, and then like the next four will be something about something completely. I'll talk about it, like it's all over the place. So yeah, it does make sense that on a first listen it would feel like that because it is like it's kind of like manic. It's like a little manic.
Yeah.
And structurally too, like when he sent me, so when I, there was Spire and then Shadow Step, those made sense production wise to like set it off, but it's just like, whoa, these are like two long verses, like back to back, boom, 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 boom. There's a lot of those, like, so yeah, I understood where that like Proverbs was like, oh, these little random kind of acts kind of coming together to create one thing. But
Right on.
yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, and I think I always loved that about Gabe, right? I always did. I always loved the ability to give yourself the space to be serious or not serious, like wherever, or a combination, like, and just flow where you flow naturally. Like, I think the strength of this album, you always had like one song I listened to endlessly on a project, right? Like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard Dark Horse.
Mm.
It's fucking ridiculous how many times I've heard Dark Horse. Yeah, Ox, the title track, same way. Um, so there's these Gabe songs where I was just like, just loop this, just put this in my blood. Um, it's fucking weird now. But this album has has like it's front to back that show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like when you talk about achieving feelings, Kurtz, Kurtz is unfucking believable.
thank you. That was yeah. I pulled from a place. Very personal anecdotes on there from just another like chamber that I have a lot of data on as far as like yeah, just dark shit with people, betrayal, just being caught up and just being a junkie, like just people I met and situations I've been in, psychological warfare, psychological abuse, like yeah, that one, yeah, and even thematically that was dope because Apocalypse Now is probably my favorite movie, and
Mhm.
Kurtz is such a good anti-hero villain, what do we want to call him? And
Yep.
it kind of just clicked. I don't know. Oh yeah, it was the beat. That fucking beat reminded me of the scene where they find Kurtz, they
go up into
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
and
yeah,
there's all the people in white. I was like,
the
this
water, the humidity, you could feel it in your like
sounds like the
he's
jungle.
wiping his head down with the
Yeah.
For
So,
like for comic book nerds, by the way, Kurtz really is like Ra's al Ghul. Like he really
oh
is
really?
that. Like I'm just that's I'm
That's his
putting that out.
name?
I'm putting that out there.
yeah,
I
not
think I don't have any foundation to that. I just think that is kind of Ra's al Ghul before Ra's al Ghul was Ra's al Ghul. You know.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Okay, it's not his government name in the
no, no,
comics.
no, 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 no. I'm just saying. Like I think that is a very similar situation. There's like I was thinking of Ra's al Ghul as like he's a bad guy, but he's got good points. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
They
and
always do,
is that
right?
way. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I love that record too. And I got to like kind of sing on it too, which was fun, like melody came to me. That was one of the seamless ones. Like that one was just there were so many, man, where he just sent them to me and it was like fucking possession. Sometimes I write and it's like there's sometimes I have to fight and sometimes something's there and the pen just goes. And it's like if I look at the sheet of paper where I wrote the rhyme, nothing's crossed out. It's
Mm.
just like perfect fucking just. There's sometimes it's like that. And for like a couple of these, like Shadow Step, that one, there are a few where it just channeled fully just in tune, in sync with the frequency of the sound that I was given to the canvas.
Mm.
That's a special thing. When you Prez, when you're getting this back, when you're getting these songs back and like putting this together, are you thinking about themes? Are you thinking about the lyricism? I've talked to producers who are like, I don't really give a fuck. Like I'm just putting the thing together. I trust this person to just do what they do. How studious are you to what is being discussed and what is developing lyrically?
I think it comes. I guess it comes together kind of gradually. Uh, when he first sent me, I sent him some stuff, and he sent like a whole bunch right back, and I was like, oh wow, like, and I think it always kind of starts to work out when I connect with them. When he came down to New Orleans, that was like an automatic. I lately I've been just trying more and more to kind of connect in a room
Right.
or like do kind of part of the at least part of the project like in uh in space right there instead of just sending shit back and forth.
Mhm.
So I think we kind of like worked out a few things and where we were, man. Like we were talking about it. Like New Orleans is a very unique place for a lot of the themes that he was talking about. So I wasn't kind of mapping it out. I think it just kind of the things that were being spoken about and the place that we were in, it just kind of like it kind of creeped into there, like like the New Orleans vibe is very special and it has you know a lot of connections with our heritage and like what we it's just kind of like it all worked out and it kind of seeped into the record naturally. We didn't really think about it too much, you know what I'm saying? It's just like and then the cover came very late. The title came like last inning. It wasn't like here's the title and this is what it's gonna about. Like it just naturally kind of formed that way.
What
Mhm.
was the inspiration? What was the moment that inspired the title?
We were talking on the phone and we went through like three titles. We're like, nah, this ain't it, this ain't it. And then we're like, yo, we both have Francophone heritage. What if it was some shit in French? And then it kind of went from there. And I think the cover might have informed the title. I can't even remember at this point, but I think since the cover we found before, yeah, that's what happened. I was looking at the cover and I was like, okay, I got the cover. And then the title kind of came from it. And it's, you know, yeah, ultimately kind of like a supernatural take, sort of on like the original title, kind of the Proverbs title. It's not a take on it, but it's like I feel like in a way it could kind of represent another dimension of where I was at least lyrically with like psalms all over the place. Like Sortilège has a lot of different meanings that has like
Right.
three in French, two in English, and it's like that supernatural charm that kind of just grabs you musically and lyrically off of this, but also, yeah, like an allusion to witchcraft and the supernatural, which is, you look at the cover, like the title and the cover work so well together.
Yeah.
It just like, I'm really proud of that. If there's one thing I'm also very proud of the record is just how cohesive it is sonically to the art and to the title. Like it, it makes sense. It's together, like, and I mean, I guess I would say that about my other stuff too, but this one in particular, like, I'm just really glad how it turned out because we for a sec we were like, what do we call this? What's the color? You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the juxtaposition of like it's like an Asian inspired cover, but sortilège. I know I'm not pronouncing that correctly.
No, that's it.
It's
That's
French.
correct.
It's
Yeah,
French.
so it kind of looks like, yeah, like the Asian straw hat. The
Yeah.
hat is actually a West African hat. It's a fool from a tribe in there is
Okay.
not. You probably seen them in really, like sometimes like guys they be sounding like beads or like stuff on
Yeah.
the street. They be rocking these it's like a straw. It's not a straw hat, but it's the same shape, but it's got like anyways. So it's from Mali. It's from West Africa.
It's like a
Wow.
burgundy brown kind of color.
Exactly. Yeah. Like leather. It's leather and straw.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So, but yeah,
yeah.
but it's got that Ronin magician, like lone warrior vibe. Yeah, that really worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean yeah, well yeah, I mean it's a real special thing. And right off the bat, even during that hour long conversation, we by the way, we had flown in so early in the morning that by the time the release party was over, we were just wiped, right? So this hour long conversation was like in under our blankets in different beds.
Yes, different day.
That's funny.
So it's even more of like a Sesame Street feeling conversation. Anyway, but yeah, I was like, Nom de Gour is a really important song.
Mm.
That was my initial take. Nom de Gour is a really important song because
I see
No,
president. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, sorry,
I see fucking French, but like, yeah.
I am a C French student for real.
The name of war.
But like it's such a declaration of like who you are and this friendship, right? This important friendship. This has been a part of my life. This friendship's important. Meet my guy, right? Like that. It's so sincere, and you were so excited about it during the release party. I was like, this, this is that point in the story where you really put sink yourself into it, and you're like, this is my fucking life, you know? Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because that synergy on the fucking song, like you can't fake that. That's Jada and Style shit. That's
Right.
raw. Like I know this
We're up to
motherfucker.
each other.
Yeah, like I know him too well almost. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the best way possible. But yeah, like yeah, that one at the listening party fucking went up too. Everybody was like, "What is this?" I mean, that beat. We were gonna
Mhm.
do we had another beat for the two of us, and we wrote a song.
But
And then Prez hit me. He's like, "Yo, I think I got some shit. Tell me if you like it better."
better.
I was like, "Yo," I was like, "This shit is crazy. For sure, we're doing this one."
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's a special track for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a like so Gabe, as a producer, how would you characterize the sonics that Prez use? I just think there's lots of people try to take sounds internationally,
Mm.
right? Um, and it comes off a lot of times like a Miley Cyrus hip hop album or something, and you're like, all right, you're a tourist here, you know? And I've never heard anyone critique preservation like that. There's an understanding of like this is different.
Right. Well, yeah, there's like a one of my favorite things about Prez's production, and this is from when I first heard him, way before I started working with him, is there's a mystical undertone to all of it, in my opinion. Like there's this like far away play. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like you hear things when I say you, I mean Prez. Like he just hears. I don't know. I'm not him, so I don't know how he experiences sound. But I'm like I feel like you hear shit in a certain way because the way you pull things and the way you arrange them, it's so it's composition to me. It's like it's not just beat making a lot of times. There's nothing wrong with beat making at all, right? And yeah, and in terms of pulling from international places, I would say, I mean, I can't speak for Prez, but I just feel like there's just a certain amount of worldliness that he just has as a person that makes it so that he can pull from those places and it doesn't sound like some Miley Cyrus shit because it's genuine. It's coming from a real place.
Right,
It's
right.
we pull this fucking record because it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's my take. I mean, obviously he could answer more better than I could, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff behind it. It's not like I'm like, yeah, there's that travel, that definitely that travel in my family, and you know, so seeing it as a young person, not traveling, but like seeing that person come back from work and being in all different places and different, you know, for his work, my pops's work, he that started that kind of like fascination of like, whoa, there's like a whole world, you know, because I was just New York, New Orleans, and that's it, you know, for a long time. And then getting up with you know, with Mos and traveling, then I was able to have that opportunity to really see it. And then every place, I'm not trying to get records from here. I'm trying to like learn the people through their music, you know, like learn about these people through their music, and having conversations with people's, and you know, like selling these records or in record stores, and communicating with cats like, yo, like what does this song like mean, or what is, you know, certain things like that. Like, so I bring that for sure. And I'm yeah, that definitely am was grateful to have those opportunities, and blessed to be able to do that and to bring it into the music. And then I feel like me and Gabe just kind of like, we kind of like really match on that, you know what I'm saying? Because he has a lot of similar experiences, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it makes that's part of what made the music really special on a lot of levels, is not just the artistry, but the interpersonal connection to his people, you know? Like yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
and then the arrangement and the organization of the sounds is just something that I've always loved from like all my, you know, people, musicians that I've loved, and you know, from Gil Evans, you know, to like RZA, to like all these guys, and bringing it back very cinematic, you know, David Axelrod, like Isaac Hayes, like these big, very like, and really listening to, or what the vocal is doing, trying to, you know, back up and accentuate words that he needs to like get out even more, and just adding things to like put, you know, push those words through a little more, and crescendo, and you know, just different things to like bring it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
details. And
Yep.
in terms of the sonic landscape, to talk about, like in Maine, there's a lot of old conversations happening of that. Back in the day, I used to get people would come at me with hip hop isn't a real art form and the sampling and the yada yada. And my response became, you don't really understand how much that producer loves that sample. You don't understand how much Primo loved those jazz records, right? You'll never love those records like he loved those records. Like you're just talking shit, you know? Like
and
the,
you- and they would listen to those records, and they listen to it in a completely different fucking way than Primo does. There's no way that like you listen to some shit that Primo pulled, and you're like, wait, that little thing,
yeah,
that
yeah,
little
yeah,
thing, and that little thing, and then it became that. Like you can't do that. And that's
yeah.
like the beauty of what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do that. And real musicians are in awe. You know what I'm saying? We're always like, when I'm around like musicians, like real ill musicians, I'm always like, oh shit, you know. But they're looking at me like, yo, y'all do crazy shit. Like, you know, like I always remember like when Yen Lo came out, uh my man Chris Day was like, yo, this record's crazy. And I'm like, why do you like this? This is like barely any drums. He's like, there's drums all over this shit. Like I'm hearing this shit, you know, like there's percussion, there's like there's drums when there's no drums. You know, it's just like these these things that are untangible, like, you know, this communication through musicians and like MCs, and like it's, you know, so I
It
don't know
was
where I'm going, but
yeah.
like, you know, there's it it's all you know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's it's an important thing, and I think that people know, like Prez loves this music, and that's it comes through the the samples, the choices, it comes through, um, and yeah, I'll the I'll do one car thing. I'll allow myself a car thing. I don't want to derail anybody, but and I will say, I've said this before on the show. I've never said it to you. Yen Lo is the most confused I've ever been on a first listen of an album. I went out on my deck. I sat with it with my knees on with my elbows on my knees and with my head down, and I was like, I've listened to hip hop my whole life. I've studied the best MCs, and I am so confused as to what all this means. And I felt like, but it was a joyful confusion. Like I felt like a newborn kid. Like I was like, oh shit, I've got this mountain to climb now. This is incredible. Um, and it. I still hear that joy in it when I hear it. Like I can't wait to figure this out. Why day 990 is so different from day 30, and like listen to all the so. I wanted to tell you that, but the car question, the official car question that I had is what was Ka's reaction when you first played A Cure for the Common off Eastern Medicine, Western Illness?
The beat to him.
Yes, the Ka sample, the whole thing.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I gave him, I always gave him like pretty much everything. He was always like my, the
Yeah.
you got a lot, everything that I did, even stuff that I knew he didn't really wouldn't fuck with. I just kind of hit him with it here and there, just to kind of play. We were always trading music all the time. Uh, but that, yeah, so I gave him a lot of stuff. He really helped me a lot on that album. He connected me with a lot of people. I wanted it to make a instrumental record. He was like, nah, son, like you gotta give, put people on it. I think it would be a better uh thing. But uh but when I gave him that, he picked it. The it wasn't attached to that other beat. That cod thing was very separate. And I was like not even thinking about, I was thinking, like if you want this for the intro of a record or anything that you need, that you got first dibs. It's like it came together, and I cut it for, she says something else, and I just cut it right there. So he loved it right away. But I don't remember exactly how it came about. He was like, no, you doing it, this is part of what you were doing in Hong Kong, so put it on your album. And then I think he probably came up with the idea to put it as an intro to that other beat, because he picked that other beat as well.
It's great. Love that song. So back to Sortilège. You were talking about the details, adding the details and into this beat. I can't go without asking about one of the kings of detail, Willie Green. What was Willie Green's effect on this project?
um
What do you hear differently from
I mean, with Green, if it, just because I think it was a backwards release,
Mhm.
that he's part of the package, you know what I'm saying? So it's I sent him the joints, and then I always like sitting in with the engineer. So he gets to a certain point, and then I came through and just finished it up. He adds his sound that makes that is that works with the label and what Woods is gonna want. And I think he's got the sound of their thing going on, their movement. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you? How did?
Sometimes
How,
I'm a pain in the ass because it's like I'm a stickler and shit. So like Woods keep making fun of me and be like, yeah, like taking too long. This is back and forth. You gotta get it until it's right, or you just don't want to do it anymore. It's like it's good enough. Just keep it moving. Sometimes you gotta move on. But
yep. You got
yeah,
to tap out. Yeah, at
Green
some point.
is a great dude, and yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Willie. Yep.
Yep. How did it change for you, Gabe, after you heard the final mix?
I mean, I was in there with them for the second to last session, I think. Yeah, I mean, it was dope. It was dope hearing it in the studio. Setup is fucking, really good. And then, yeah, when I got the mixes, I finally, do my customary walk around Manhattan with the album in my earbuds.
Mhm.
I was just like, here we go. You know what I mean? It just sounded because I was used to like, well, I had some bounces from the studio that weren't too bad, but like, yeah, like it was just like Prez says, there's a certain kind of like sonic kind of blanket that he puts that makes it that. So it was interesting. I had to listen to it twice to not to get it. There's nothing to get, but I had to get used to it because
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah.
different than what I was listening to this whole time. But
I
then when
think
I
I was. Go ahead, keep going.
no, yeah, then when I got it, yeah, it's because it sounds different than because someone was mixing all my other records. So this is the first record in like years that I got mixed by someone else. So it sounded different. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah.
And
Really.
then also,
Well,
after it being all completely put together,
Right.
not yeah, like transitions. I always kind of send the transitions ahead of time to you too. You were hearing them,
Yes, one by
how
one.
they were going in and out of different songs,
mm,
and like all the in betweens, because there's I'm not I sometimes but barely I'll put any like gaps, like quiet
mm,
gaps and shit. Like I'm always like trying to make it almost like, I guess maybe that's the DJ in me, just on some mixtape shit, like just kind of like seamlessly just the story, like the movie, like what I'm saying, just you keep going and shit. So when you're getting it back, you're hearing everything like in one thing, and it's all like connected. That makes a big difference instead of just hearing song per song, like.
Different listening experience entirely. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Prez's for the way he structures albums is that it's like, it's like a mix or like one song, you could just play it through and it's like that's ill. Like,
yeah.
that's some shit. I'm a big fan of that approach.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The yeah. Okay, what other questions do you have here?
I like to hear like what are your favorite moments for um Prez what are your favorite moments off of the off of the project? Do you have like any specific, because I know we mentioned, sorry, let me clarify my question. I know that we mentioned that there's a lot of gems. You both feel like there's a lot of gems like in the project. What are some of your favorite gems?
I love the couple things. There's a bunch, but I love the hook for the second part of Bassinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special
Uh,
shit. I know a lot of shit, dog. It's the top.
that's like Parisian flip cars in the mosh pit. It's just like it gives you a visual of,
Mm,
again, like that worldly kind of, like it pulls you out to a different place. I like that. Um uh, yeah, man, it's like I, I I love when Concept Jackson comes in.
oh, crazy.
It just gives you like this like jolt of like a different
Mhm.
boom, like like it just takes you in a completely like different
Yeah.
different thing.
That's a different machine right there. Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking
Yeah,
left Earth on that record, man. He killed
yeah.
it.
Um, man, there's a lot of I love
I
the
fuck with that.
end, the last verse, like that you wrote after on Lotus Flower, because that came a little later, because he
Yeah,
kind of rewrote it and he added that last part, which is amazing. Mondo Kane, like with Benjamin Booker, is like really dope. That just
Crazy.
worked out. Like, we wanted, yeah, it kind of it worked out. A lot of moments, man. I know.
Yeah, dude.
Well, you get,
oh, me?
yeah.
Like lyrical moments?
Whatever moments resonated with you.
I mean, that Lotus Flower beat is one of the last joint. That's like one of my favorite beats I've ever rapped on. I really I rewrote it a bunch of times because it just wasn't living up to the music and bar. It just wasn't, it needed to be rewritten. So that beat, like I felt really lucky to get that beat to rap on. I was really hyped when I heard it. Same with the Spire beat, man, the congas and shit, like the percussion on that fucking song. I'm just like,
Mhm.
I just got laced up for this fucking track. Like this is
Right.
so different.
Added added a lot to it too, like a lot of synth and some live shit.
Yeah, I really like that record. I mean, I'm really, really, I really love this album, so I really like all the songs, but yeah, I don't know. There's so many, there's so many moments. I just like the way I was able to weave real life stuff with
Right.
in pockets and make it kind of like, what did he say? Like, I don't say controversial or whatever, but just kind of like peppered in and just
Mhm.
like, wait, what the fuck did I? And then it's back to some other shit, Like I'm just imagining someone
From the
listening.
hood, so she's really
Yeah, yeah, just like the part about, in the hotel and shit. I'm just like, that was one of the bars where I was like, am I gonna say this on wax? And I was like,
Yeah.
that was crazy. That was a crazy couple nights. I'm gonna say it. That's about
Right.
it, But yeah, so that like the risk taking and like some of the
Right.
not risk taking. I don't feel like I'm taking it because like I'm very comfortable and confident in who I am. So whatever. But like I'm glad I said some of this shit I said. So those moments and yeah, then like that bar you pointed out on Moisak, like there's a couple bars on that record that really came through. Like, oh, this could have been in like
Yeah,
a
that's one of
loud
my
suit. Yeah.
favorite
Yeah,
right there.
there's a sense of like surfing the extremes, right?
Yeah.
Like, the child soldier stuff at the beginning of war, like there's like it's just so vivid, right?
Right.
Like you have to surf the extremes if you're gonna remain vivid, right?
Like that.
Um, and you remain vivid all record. It's great. Um, Kay, give you my we always do these favorite 3 song runs
Mhm.
because we're album nuts and it's our thing. I'm gonna go 6, 7, 8. Morning Star, Hierophant, War.
Mm.
That's at that point the party is jumping, you know?
Word.
And I that's another moment that I like. Some of these production moments that kind of just are, Kyle would always say, magic moments. It's just like these things you just like, hey, it just fell in the right place. There's a sample in Morning Star that was the same pitch and it goes into Hierophant, if you notice it. So there's like a little kind of like a vibe
Yep.
bell thing, and it continues into Hierophant to the next song. So I was like, oh shit, I'm just gonna play it all the way through because it just continues, like it's just like in the same pitch. So like, why not? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's one production moment that I really was like, oh shit, I never done that before. Like just to kind of again, like how soundtracks you hear the same thing in different songs or like different ways of doing the same theme. I always wanted to kind of do that a little more often, and I feel like I got a couple things that I want to do in the future like that. Like,
That's beautiful. Yeah, more and more cohesive, man.
Mhm.
You're doing. Kay, how what are you thinking for your favorite runs on this?
Yeah, I mean, I pick up right where you left off. I loved War. So I'll go War, Ball and Chain, and then Nom de Guerre.
Yeah, those go. I heard someone else say, someone tweeted some shit. Someone like put it in their story and added me. They're like, this 3 song run, literally, that's what they said. And it was that, it was those three. I think it was Jeff Markey, actually. Yeah. Shout out
Oh, Marquis Spring. That's awesome.
to
No, that's good company, Kay. For you. Yeah, I love it. I love this album. I'm excited. I you know it's similar when I first got the Cav album, right? I was like, I hope Backwoods fans can have fun with this record.
Which
Mhm.
one? The first,
Different type time,
yeah.
right? So I was like, this album is smart, but it's fly as fuck. Like, so enjoy that shit, right? Let yourself enjoy that shit. I Backwoods fans are different. They'll look for the meanings and they'll look up the historical references and all that shit. But like, and just let yourself enjoy this, and they did. And so that's the excitement I have with this is they're still catching the jewels, but they're enjoying the propulsive nature of this record
Mhm.
and the fact that it gets their ass moving, which is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's been cool seeing it live, it's doing well, and I knew it would because it's, I just it's the perfect kind of cocktail of variables and stuff. But yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling to have it out. Dropping a fucking record always feels good because it's like, for me at least, I can't speak for anyone else. It's like a gift, and giving feels good and shit. Like, when I put some shit out, it's like it just feels good.
Yes, and it's there.
Yeah. You can
absolutely.
access it now. You can go listen to it. You could just look at the cover if you want. You could just know it exists. It's out. It feels good. That's probably my favorite feeling is really dropping art. I don't think there's a better
No.
that
Yeah.
experience. That's like my favorite thing.
Yeah. Being able to finish it and have other people experience it is great. There's nothing quite like that. The Kay, do you have anything else or do you want to go to
No.
recommend? Let's let's go to recommendation corner here. Oh man. So yeah, we got some great stuff that has come out that I've been listening to, really enjoying. Today, as we were recording this, AJ Suede dropped Grateful Dead. Crazy producer list on there. Chong Wizard's on there. It's just dope. This is a real good Clown Cat has a beat on it. It's dope. It's he's great and continues to just be quality. And the person who's been on the show, really unique. Offman, great producer from Toronto, and kind of started like just out of a love of Bollywood and discovered hip hop after. And so the beats are different, you know. And he's got a 3-part album series going that is about what his name means. And this is the second part. It's called The Eternal Spirit.
Sorry, what's his name? I want to check that out because I love Bollywood music is off the fucking hook. Like if it's hip hop beats, if it's Bollywood hip hop beats, I'm trying to hear
He's
that.
done that shit. If you look at
Stuff.
that Sun Mundi album he did, Midnight Oil.
Okay, Sun Mundi's shout out to Sun Mundi, man. He's one of my favorite rappers. Like I've
Oh,
told
and Midnight Oil is fire. Like that shit is amazing. So yeah, he's been all over it. But this is like there's a lot of Secret Scriptures crew is kind of on there, young Toronto cats. So there's a lot of really good stuff and development and growth
what's
from
his name? I'm sorry, what's his name?
Othman, Athmaan. Yep. Yeah. So
Atman. Okay.
that's the good shit. That's the good shit. The and by the way, Kate, I forced myself to listen to the Sabrina Carpenter, the best friend. Uh, I just, I'm
She's fire.
fascinated.
I mean, she looks fire. I don't know about her
I'm
music.
fascinated by the whole situation, and it's a better album than it is than the other one was. So good for her.
Yo, you bumping Sabrina Carter? She
I mean,
fire.
I was surprised. Like there were a couple songs on there that were actually
I'm trying to
surprising.
feature. You feel me?
I listen to whatever. I'm listening to whatever. Like I'm out here. I just
But
think I think of the controversy was interesting. I thought the first album's kind of boring and just generated general pop. This album's got some tone to it, some venom to it. I'm into that shit. So I'm into that shit. Um, I'm if your messy connects with the messy in me. You know, so explore your messy is my that is my advice. Gabe, what are you bumping? What are you listening to?
No, it's nothing new. I'm just listening to the same like five songs on repeat here and there, but I and beats. I need silence a lot, Like I really need like extended periods of silence because
Yep.
I'm writing and shit, and then when I'm done writing, I don't want to hear shit. But like, okay, I was bumping this Popcorn song the other day on repeat. This Tommy Lee, a lot of dancehall like Tommy Lee Sparta, Popcorn
Mhm.
vibes card. Obviously, I was bumping this one Sublime song and this one Max B song, and I've just been alternating between these five songs for like 2 months. I don't know, like
I like that shit. It's
like
awesome.
yeah, any contemporary stuff. I haven't listened to anything recently that came out.
Yeah, that's you gotta maintain your foot in the past to an extent, man. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and listening to contemporary. I mean, I've said this mad times, but listening to other MCs contemporaneously, like certain rappers, like I'll listen to the record, but I'll listen to it once, because like it shit rubs off very subconsciously.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and also like as a rapper, like I just feel like I'm not if I'm listening to contemporary stuff, it's hard for me to listen as a fan because I'm just kind of listening as like a peer, I'm
I
listening as
can I can totally understand that. Like as a writer, if I read Truman Capote, I would just start. With that voice, I would
yeah,
be talking like it, writing like it. And when we started this, me and my buddy who started this thing, Free Music Empire, we would just make up Rick Ross rhymes all the time. We just thought the structure of Rick Ross rhymes are so fucking funny and so fun. Like there would just be the brag, but there'd be nonsense going on, right? Like he'd be like Charlie Parker's in the back of my Maybach or something, and you'd be like, "This is hilarious." So it was an equation that you could crack, and it would get in your head. So I totally get that shit, man.
yeah, it gets busy in there. Even reading books, like I try to read a book today, and like 5 pages in, I was like, I'm putting this down because I'm getting this person's thoughts in my head, and I want to not have them right now. This, in my opinion, happens in arcs and in eras. Right now, this is my silence arc. I'll listen to albums maybe in a few months out.
Sure, that's fun. The Prez, what are you rocking with?
Oh man, I really I listen to a lot of new stuff and just try to follow up on everything that's coming out. I try to do my best. I really, really do my best to like new cats and just new records coming out. I can't really just be like this, and this.
Mhm.
My memory is not like that, but like I have like a list of stuff that I just kind of go through, like streaming, just like all right, I listen to that, just try to give everybody a listen. Uh, but I don't know, like, as far as like besides that, like the latest thing I listened to, what I listened to yesterday was in the car was like Minnie Riperton, Come to My Garden. And then like Charles Stepney, who produced that record, I also got this dope comp of his, or it's not even a comp, it's just like a collection of his demos. So he produced Earth, Wind, and Fire. He produced Muddy Waters, uh, Rotary Connection, Minnie Riperton, all that.
Yeah,
It's just like his demos, like in his basement. It's called Step to Step. That was great. And then some people have been kind of putting me up on like cumbia records, which I had no idea of any. I was always hearing it, but I didn't know where to go. So a friend of mine here owns a record shop. He put out a couple cumbia compilations, and just been rocking that at the crib, like cooking music.
that's dope. That's dope. I love that. The K, what are you rocking with?
You know, I was actually genuinely impressed. So Tiana Taylor
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
has an album, Escape Room.
Yep.
that I felt was very, very well done.
That's cool. I didn't get all the way through it. There was a lot going on.
Mhm.
And I think I'm still sidetracked by Givian's album, Boulevard. Um,
Mm.
it's a great album. But yeah, I gotta get to that. Show
What other,
note.
what other hip hop albums you guys been kind of rocking this year that like favorites?
Let me,
Oops, out of
I got.
curiosity.
I always keep a list with me.
Yeah.
You know me. And by the way, over the weekend, I totally. Oh, okay. I got to break down to you how this is regimented. My wife hates my year-end list situation. It runs all year, right? And by June, I have 25, right? Favorites. After June, starting July, I add 5 slots every month until the end of the year to get to 50.
Hmm.
So right now, it's September, I have 35. I've got it up to 35. So let me see here. We can go with it. Yeah, I got actually contacting Sun Mundi and Sasko. Top 10. Entered the top 10 for me.
Nice. He's nice. He's nice.
Yeah.
I love
Nice.
that
Yeah.
shit.
I don't know that one.
I'm trying to get a song lined up.
Oh, it's fantastic, and that is certainly the future. But Benjamin Booker is high on my list, by the way, the lower
Yeah,
album.
great.
That Prem Rock is number 4 for me. Um, yeah, I think that's some of his best work. The Brother Ali is in the top 10. The Satisfied
Mhm.
Soul. Um, yeah, my son has got me rocking Jid. Like he's got me into that shit. He's hardcore for him, and I like this album a lot. So it's it there. But yeah, and of course, okay, Pale Black Negative, Reese Langston.
Yeah.
Pale Black Negative. Never stop saying it. So, um, show notes. Shout out to we had a shrapnel extravaganza a little bit ago. We had shrapnel, Obliv, um, and Dove, and Raffi all on. We got them all centralized on one call and talked about the 3 albums they released on Fused Arrow. And Castro in this recommendation corner said, I said, who you listen to? He said, Wave Generators, Gabe Nandez, Preservation. And I was like, those are our next 2 guests.
Oh
So
wow, crazy! Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. Nailed it. So, and that album's that episode's doing numbers. People are loving that, and so that's a shout out to everybody tuning into that. That's awesome. So
Shout out to Mike Ladd too,
yeah, we didn't get him. We
Dropped
didn't.
an album,
and the
right?
new Shrapnel
Right.
production, making
That album's critical. That
good
album's
beats.
critical. Sincere the few. Yeah. So it's been amazing, an amazing ride. I'm definitely still not over New York. I'm still, enjoying that. So thank you for the love we got there. Um, yeah. Anything else we should tell the people, Kay, about what we're doing or whatever?
I can't think of anything. You have anything in mind?
Oh, I mean, you know what? I'm ending the show like this. Supernatural's a silly fucking show.
What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow bring? What will tomorrow